I feel a connection to all the wetlands, the waterways, because of the statement that basically describes who we are and our ongoing connection to the waterways. We are the river people and the lakes people and the estuary people and the ocean people. I guess I got a real love of the Thrombolites because there's a story there that is to do with the Aboriginal perspective, being the eggs of the Woggle Margit that came along and basically left her eggs there after she created the waterways. It's not just a joy of going there and it's nearly different every time you go there and visit. It's about how you become immersed into that space with the wind sometimes blowing on your body and other times with the sun warming you up. It's also about how you say to that space, "Hello, how are you?" Or "Kaya, kaya, nganjurupa nganija." Hello, I'm happy that I'm here. And that's just reinforcing that special bond that we have with the different spaces through the little rituals, whether it's saying something or throwing some sand in the water, but it's that ongoing connecting that we do, and it's such a very respectful thing that we do in that space. We have a business called Man Good Up Dreaming, and the tourism side of that, at the moment, that's very challenging because of COVID. However, there's a non-tourism side that is working with schools. You know, we're able to do a bus trip down to the Thrombolites, and we do another one looking at the rivers, the estuary area, the ocean area, and how over the time people have used it to survive. You know, personally, it's such a rewarding time where you can share culture. We are very connected to country. We do have a very strong opinion about protecting the waterways and protecting the land and protecting our homeland. There's, you know, the opportunity to do more in educating people, and right across the board we have different people doing amazing things in this community to protect the waterways. From what happens in the city of Mandurah and how they go about helping the environment, and also smaller organisations like Pilharvey Catchment Council, the Department of Water, even the Water Police, have conversations with people. There's also other ways, I guess, of learning what we do in going to the river, because we see the rivers as a living and important part of how people have sustained their life. And it's like a living entity. And then when we go to a waterway, we throw a little bit of sand in the water and say hello. And that's really respectful in the way of valuing what we have in the physical space, but also in the spiritual space of respecting that which is in front of you. And in respecting that which is in front of you, we respect ourselves in the way that we all fit in together into this homeland, this Kalipka.
I'm the founder and chairperson of local community group Coastal Waste Warriors Incorporated. So our community beach cleanup group has been dedicated to keeping our waterways clean, taking positive action to protect our waterways and our beaches, our oceans. So in 2.5 years we have collected close to 50,000 pieces of rubbish and marine debris, almost 1.5 tonnes from along our waterways and our coastline, and engaged with approximately 1,500 volunteers along the way. Everyone has their own story, their own motivation for joining in, but we all have one common goal, and that's to clean and protect our environment which we live and love. You know, it's a place where we create memories with each other, but if we don't protect what we have now, who knows where it will be in many years to come. Really, really important to be protecting our waterways and our ocean, our marine life. The plastics, the other types of litter that are making their way into our waterways and our ocean are threatening our marine life. They're becoming entangled. They're ingesting the microplastics that are breaking down. Our environment has no way to digest this plastic. It's causing a large amount of harm. My personal motivation to starting the cleanup group came from a feeling of wanting to take care and connect with our daughter Amber, who we lost 4 years ago now. She passed away suddenly, and a book was written about her saving a dolphin from fishing nets. The message through the book is for people to protect the world around us. So we, as a family, wanted to take that one step further and further engage with our local community to bring them to a place where they can also care for our environment, that they can connect with their local community, with like-minded people. Yeah, so Pyramids Beach held our first cleanup event, and that was because that's where Amber's storybook was set. We feel most connected to that area because that's the area that we spend a lot of time as a family, so creating the memories together, especially with Amber. She would climb up on the rocks with us, we'd carry her up, and she just loved seeing the dolphins in the area. That place in particular holds a special place in our heart. One person can make a huge difference. One person can start a small movement that can grow into a much larger movement. All it takes is to have the courage to start something like a small beach cleanup group. We started this in memory of our daughter, thinking we might do 1 or 2 a year. It's turned into a real community movement. There's many ways that you can become involved in our community group and other environmental community groups. There's so many out there, and it's always looking for volunteers and people to lend a hand. It might not be attending a cleanup, but it might be able to help in some other way to help spread the awareness. You feel good being able to take action yourself, you know, to grassroots level. One person can really make a difference.
I think what's special about them is they're very unique and very diverse. Like, I think that's the most amazing thing about the wetlands, in the Pillialgarup, is just how diverse they are. So you've got freshwater wetlands, you've got the estuary, and even within the estuary you've got these very different little pockets where there's samphire and where there's melaleucas and all those things. And from a bird point of view, what makes that so special is because you've got all these different elements to the wetlands. You then get a whole variety of birds. So we've got a fantastic array of wetland birds that use the Pillialgarup, as well as lots of bush birds. We're very, very lucky here, and you know, people will come far and wide to see some of the birds that we have. A very significant type of bird that we're very fortunate to have that comes to the Pillialgarup are migratory shorebirds, which travel all the way from the northern hemisphere up in the Arctic where they breed and come down and spend our summer down here and in the Pure Yalgarup. And we have thousands of these birds and quite a nice variety of them. And that's pretty special. It makes it a very special place. But we've also got lots of other water birds, from our pelicans and our swans that are big to, the smaller sort of cormorants and herons. We're very fortunate to have such a great diversity and to have access to it, to see them and see them in their element. I work for BirdLife Australia, which is a not-for-profit that's all about birds and conservation of birds and their habitat. A very big part of the conservation work that I do is around wetlands and sharing that message about how important wetlands are for our birds, but also for other wildlife and also for people. We're all connected to these wetland systems and we all rely on them for our own survival and our health and well-being. Since I've been young, I've always felt connected to the environment, and it's really been my dad that I suppose helped me down that path, and watching endless documentaries of David Attenborough. And I think I've been very lucky to have that from a young age and be able to grow up really appreciating the environment. And just as I get older, it becomes stronger and stronger. There's a role for everyone to be involved in environmental work, and it doesn't really matter what your passion is or what your background is. You don't necessarily need to know everything about our wetlands and our birds and other elements of the wetlands to appreciate it and be involved in conservation work if you just really love the beauty of it and feel connected in that way. For example, I might just really love the beautiful colours that you have with the samphire in the water and different times of the day. Yeah. So everyone has something to give, and we don't want everyone to be, the same in trying to protect our environment, our wetlands. It's having that sort of diversity of perspectives and level of connection with the environment that is really important. So I think, everyone's got a role to play, and I'd really just encourage people to get involved with aspects that really interest them, that they are passionate about. And that might be, wanting to spread the word about our environment, or it might be about keeping our waterways clean, or it might be about, making sure that we are protecting our environmental areas or improving them. And there really is an opportunity and a space for everyone to get involved.